It's Christmas, and across America, people are making decisions so dumb they turn holiday cheer into instant Darwin Awards. Deep fryers in garages, DIY projects nobody asked for, and "I'll be fine" being spoken for the last time. These aren't movie scenes. These are real Christmas moments where common sense packed up early and never came back. Some of these start funny, some start confident, and every single one ends with you saying, "How did anyone think this was okay?" Watch till the end because the final entries are the most unbelievable of all. And while you're here, hit like if you've ever seen a holiday idea go wrong, subscribe for more brain-melting countdowns, and comment the number that made you pause and say, "Yeah, that was never going to end well." 1. A holiday-loving electrician in Arizona decided Christmas Eve was the perfect time to fix flickering lights without shutting off the breaker. He balanced on a metal ladder wearing fuzzy Santa socks while holding exposed wires. One wrong grip sent a violent surge through his body. Muscles locked instantly. He couldn't let go. His wife heard a strange buzzing sound followed by silence. The lights inside the house suddenly glowed brighter than ever. Neighbors noticed sparks shooting from the roofline and called emergency services. Paramedics arrived to find him still clinging to the wire, frozen in place. The breaker was finally shut off by firefighters. The decorations stayed lit all night. The house became the brightest on the block for all the wrong reasons. 2. A competitive foodie in Louisiana hosted Christmas dinner and promised guests the crispiest fried turkey ever attempted. Instead of oil, he experimented with rendered bacon grease for extra flavor. As the turkey lowered, the grease ignited explosively. Flames shot sideways across the yard, engulfing the table of side dishes instantly. He panicked and tried dragging the pot away, slipping on spilled grease. The fire raced up his apron and jacket in seconds. Guests scattered, screaming into the street. The turkey launched out of the pot like a flaming missile, landing in the neighbor's inflatable snowman. Fire crews arrived to find a scorched driveway and stunned onlookers. The host didn't survive the burns. Bacon grease was never mentioned at family dinners again. 3. A tech-obsessed dad in Washington wired his entire house to a homemade Christmas automation system controlled by a laptop and voice commands. Lights, music, fireplaces, even motorized reindeer all sync together. During final testing, he bypassed safety relays to remove lag. When he issued the command for full power, the system overloaded instantly. Multiple circuits surged at once. Sparks erupted behind the walls. He ran to the server rack, trying to shut it down manually. The electrical feedback knocked him backward into the metal frame. Smoke filled the house as automated music continued playing cheerful carols. His family escaped outside, watching the house flash like a nightclub. Firefighters later called it one of the most over-engineered disasters they'd ever seen. The playlist kept looping until power finally died. 4. A determined grandmother in Iowa insisted on preserving an old family tradition of real candlelit Christmas trees. Despite warnings, she attached dozens of tall candles directly to dry pine branches. During caroling, melted wax dripped steadily onto needles below. One candle tipped slightly, brushing against a brittle branch. Flames climbed the tree faster than anyone could react. She rushed forward, trying to smother it with a wool blanket. Smoke overwhelmed the room instantly. Guests fled, coughing into the snow. Fire spread across the ceiling within minutes. Firefighters arrived quickly but found her unconscious near the tree. Smoke inhalation proved fatal. The house survived, but the tradition didn't. Electric lights replaced candles permanently. The antique candle holders now sit untouched behind glass, labeled "Do Not Light" in bold marker. 5. An extreme fitness influencer in California refused to skip workouts on Christmas morning. He set up a heavy squat rack in the garage decorated with tinsel and mistletoe. While live streaming to followers, he attempted a personal record lift to start the year strong. Mid-rep, the safety bars weren't properly locked. The bar slipped backward, pinning his neck against the rack. The camera captured his struggle as viewers assumed it was a joke. His partner ran in screaming and tried lifting the weight unsuccessfully. Emergency services arrived too late. The stream continued until the battery died. The replay spread online within hours. Comment sections filled with stunned silence. Fitness goals paused across his community that day. The garage decorations remained untouched, frozen mid-celebration. 6. A practical joker in Florida rigged fake-wrapped gifts with spring-loaded confetti cannons for Christmas morning laughs. One box contained industrial-strength compressed air canisters he modified for maximum pop. He knelt in front of the tree, demonstrating how harmless it was. When he opened the box, the mechanism misfired. The canisters detonated outward instead of upward. Shrapnel from metal fittings struck his chest and neck instantly. Family laughter turned into screaming chaos. Wrapping paper floated down slowly through the room as everyone froze. Emergency responders declared him gone on arrival. Confetti still clung to the ceiling hours later. The remaining prank gifts stayed unopened forever. Joke gifts were banned entirely after that. Christmas mornings became noticeably quieter, with nothing popping except champagne corks. 7. A snow-loving contractor in Vermont decided to speed up driveway clearing by modifying his snowplow with added weights for extra force. He welded scrap metal plates onto the front blade the night before Christmas. At dawn, he revved the truck hard and charged forward. The reinforced plow struck a buried concrete edging at full speed. The sudden stop sent the added weight crashing backward through the windshield. Metal crushed the cab instantly. His wife inside heard the engine cut out and ran outside. Steam rose from the hood into the cold air. Neighbors gathered silently as emergency crews worked. Investigators later noted the modification voided every safety margin. The driveway stayed half cleared all winter. The plow modification tools were boxed away, untouched, behind the garage. 8. A holiday decorator in Nevada wanted realistic snowfall indoors for a Christmas party and built a homemade snow effect using pulverized styrofoam and powerful fans. He sealed the windows to keep the flakes from escaping. As the Yuri machine ran, the tiny particles filled the air rapidly. Guests laughed as visibility dropped. Within minutes, people started coughing violently. The decorator climbed a ladder to adjust airflow and inhaled deeply. The airborne particles clogged his lungs fast. He collapsed into the foam-covered floor, unnoticed at first. Music kept playing as guests rushed outside, gasping for air. Emergency crews later confirmed asphyxiation. The house looked peaceful afterward, coated in white. Artificial snow machines were never mentioned again. The party invitations quietly disappeared from everyone's calendars. 9. A frugal uncle in Kansas attempted to reuse old fireworks for a Christmas midnight celebration, believing expired ones would be less powerful. He taped several together for a bigger visual effect and placed them in a metal bucket. When he lit the fuse, the delay failed. All charges ignited instantly. The bucket shattered into high-speed fragments. Family members ducked behind cars as sparks rained across the yard. He stood too close to react. The blast knocked him backward without a sound. Emergency responders found shrapnel embedded throughout the snow-covered lawn. Investigators later confirmed expired fireworks behave unpredictably. The neighborhood banned fireworks entirely after that night. Christmas celebrations shifted to quiet light displays. The empty bucket was never replaced, left bent and split behind the shed. 10. A holiday host in New Mexico decided to deep clean carpets before guests arrived by renting an industrial steam cleaner designed for commercial use. Ignoring instructions, he mixed multiple cleaning chemicals for extra strength. As steam heated the mixture, toxic vapors filled the closed house. He pushed the machine room to room, growing dizzy but determined to finish. By the time guests arrived, the front door opened into a cloud of sharp-smelling gas. He was found collapsed near the hallway. Emergency services evacuated everyone immediately. Doctors later confirmed fatal chemical exposure. The carpets looked spotless. Windows stayed open for days afterward, despite freezing temperatures. Cleaning supplies were reorganized with warning labels everywhere. Holiday prep routines simplified drastically. The phrase "extra strength" was quietly removed from all future shopping lists. 11. A determined office manager in New Jersey insisted on hosting a nostalgia Christmas using real dry ice for old-fashioned punch bowl fog. She placed large chunks directly into a sealed glass bowl and leaned over to admire the rolling mist. The lid trapped pressure as the ice sublimated rapidly. The bowl exploded outward like a grenade. Glass shards struck her neck and chest instantly. Guests screamed and dove under tables as punch sprayed across the ceiling. Holiday music kept playing as confusion filled the room. Emergency crews arrived to a scene glittering with glass and red-stained eggnog. Doctors confirmed fatal trauma. Fog effects were banned at all office parties afterward. Plastic bowls replaced glass forever. The punch recipe was quietly retired and never requested again. 12. A proud survivalist in Wyoming decided to prove his outdoor skills by cooking Christmas dinner entirely over a self-built indoor campfire. He stacked logs inside a stone fire pit he assembled in the living room. As flames grew, smoke filled the ceiling quickly. He opened windows, convinced airflow would solve everything. Instead, oxygen fed the fire aggressively. Embers shot outward, igniting nearby curtains. He tried smothering the flames with a heavy coat, but collapsed from smoke inhalation. Family members escaped, coughing into the snow as the house glowed orange. Firefighters arrived to total devastation. The pit stones remained blackened afterward. Camping skills stayed outdoors from then on. Christmas dinners returned to electric ovens only. The survivalist reputation ended quietly with the fire. 13. A competitive gamer in South Korea refused to pause a marathon Christmas livestream, determined to break a holiday viewership record. He ignored food, water, and sleep for nearly 2 days straight. Viewers cheered as his reactions slowed and speech slurred. Moderators spammed chat warnings, but he waved them off laughing. During a tense boss fight, he suddenly slumped forward off camera. Viewers assumed it was part of the act. Hours passed before authorities were contacted. Dehydration and exhaustion proved fatal. The stream remained live until moderators shut it down. Clips spread rapidly online with shocked reactions. Streaming platforms updated wellness rules soon after. Holiday marathons gained mandatory breaks. His final achievement badge remained frozen on screen, unfinished, as the countdown timer quietly stopped. 14. A meticulous decorator in France decided to spray artificial snow onto every window from the inside for a perfect whiteout effect. She sealed doors tightly to prevent overspray. The aerosol propellant built up invisibly as she worked room to room. When she finished, she flipped on the heater to speed drying. The spark ignited the accumulated fumes instantly. A flash fire ripped through the apartment. Neighbors heard a loud pop followed by alarms. Fire crews arrived quickly, but she succumbed to burns and inhalation. The windows remained perfectly frosted afterward. Authorities cited improper ventilation. Artificial snow cans were removed from shelves temporarily. Decorations shifted towards safer minimalism. The apartment sat empty through winter, glowing white behind sealed glass, untouched until spring renovations began. 15. A retired engineer in Japan attempted to build a fully automated Christmas cake slicer using repurposed industrial parts. He wanted perfectly equal slices for guests without human error. The device used spinning blades timed by sensors. During final testing, a sensor misaligned. When he leaned in to adjust it, the system activated unexpectedly. The blades engaged instantly. His wife heard a mechanical whir followed by silence. Emergency responders shut down the device but couldn't save him. Investigators noted multiple disabled safety locks. The cake remained untouched on the counter. Family gatherings afterward returned to manual knives. Automation projects were boxed away permanently. The slicer frame stayed covered in the workshop. Perfect slices no longer mattered. Uneven cake became a symbol of safety, not failure. 16. A thrill-seeking tourist in Switzerland attempted a Christmas Eve sled run down a closed alpine road after dark. Ignoring warning signs, he attached a headlamp and pushed off confidently. The icy descent accelerated far faster than expected. He lost steering control immediately. Hidden barriers blurred past as speed increased. The sled struck a snowbank, ramping him airborne. He collided with a rock face below the road. Search teams located him hours later after friends reported him missing. The headlamp still glowed faintly in the snow. Authorities closed the route with reinforced barriers afterward. Night sledding was strictly banned. Holiday brochures removed the trail photo. Locals quietly referred to the bend as the last run. The mountain remained silent under fresh snowfall. 17. A minimalist influencer in Denmark decided to celebrate Christmas without heat to promote authentic winter living. She documented the challenge online, wearing thin linen clothing indoors. As temperatures dropped overnight, she continued filming motivational speeches. Followers praised her resilience. She refused blankets. insisting discomfort was the point. By morning, her speech slowed noticeably. She collapsed near the camera, still recording. Hypothermia set in quietly. Emergency services were called too late by viewers reporting concern. The video ended abruptly mid-sentence. The clip circulated widely as a cautionary tale. Influencer platforms updated safety disclaimers. Minimalism trends softened afterward. Warmth regained importance. The apartment heater remained unused that night, set exactly where she left it, cold and silent. 18. A competitive baker in Italy attempted to speed-cool massive Christmas pastries by placing them on an open balcony during a sudden cold snap. As temperatures dropped rapidly, steam from the hot desserts condensed instantly. Ice formed beneath her feet on the tiles. She stepped out to adjust a tray and slipped violently. The fall sent her over the low railing. Neighbors heard the crash below. Emergency responders confirmed fatal injuries. The pastries remained perfectly preserved in the cold air above. Authorities later recommended proper cooling racks indoors. Bakeries across the region updated safety protocols. The balcony stayed empty afterward. Family recipes continued inside kitchens only. Holiday baking slowed slightly, favoring patience over perfection. The preserved pastries were donated, untouched, to neighbors days later. 19. A logistics manager in Canada decided to optimize Christmas gift delivery by testing a personal drone capable of lifting heavy packages. He attached a large box containing electronics and stood beneath it for stability during launch. The drone struggled, wobbling aggressively. One rotor failed mid-lift. The device dropped straight down from height. Impact struck his head instantly. The box burst open, scattering gifts across the snow. His teenage son ran outside screaming. Emergency services arrived quickly but couldn't revive him. Drone regulations tightened soon after. Heavy lift hobby drones faced new restrictions. Gift deliveries returned to ground methods. The drone pieces were collected into a bin labeled "Do Not Use." The unopened gifts were later wrapped again, quietly without any celebration attached. 20. A history enthusiast in Scotland recreated a medieval Christmas feast using traditional preservation methods. He sealed meat in an airtight clay container with heated oils as described in old manuscripts. The container cooled unevenly, building pressure internally. When he lifted it to present the dish, the vessel ruptured violently. Shards struck him at close range. Guests scattered as the table collapsed. Emergency responders found fragments embedded across the room. Medical staff confirmed fatal trauma. Historians later clarified the method required specific materials no longer available. Medieval reenactments paused across local groups. Feast traditions modernized instantly. The clay container's remains were stored in the museum archive. The recipe card remained intact, stamped clearly with a modern warning label beneath the ancient script. 21. A holiday-obsessed teacher in Utah decided to recreate a vintage Christmas postcard scene by sleeping outdoors in the snow beside a decorated sleigh for photos at sunrise. She layered blankets but underestimated overnight temperature drops. As wind picked up, snow drifted over her quietly. Neighbors assumed it was part of the display. By morning, frost covered the sleigh perfectly. When someone tried waking her for photos, she didn't respond. Emergency crews confirmed fatal hypothermia. The sleigh still looked picturesque under the morning light. Authorities later issued cold weather warnings. Outdoor photo recreations were discouraged afterward. The postcard was never printed. The sleigh decorations were packed away untouched. Holiday photo shoots returned indoors, warm and significantly less authentic than planned. 22. A meticulous accountant in Germany attempted to vacuum glitter from a Christmas craft explosion using a powerful industrial shop vacuum. Wanting efficiency, he skipped the dust filter to improve suction. As glitter and fine debris entered the motor chamber, static electricity built rapidly. The vacuum sparked internally and ignited the contents. He instinctively hugged the machine, trying to shut it off. Flames shot upward instantly. Family members ran in screaming as smoke filled the room. Firefighters arrived quickly, but severe burns proved fatal. The glitter continued floating long after. Cleanup crews later described it as festive chaos. Crafting areas were permanently relocated outdoors. Glitter was banned completely. The vacuum manual sat unopened beside the melted machine. 23. A luxury car enthusiast in Dubai insisted on unveiling his new sports car by driving it through a ribboned arch inside the villa's main hall during Christmas brunch. Marble floors gleamed beneath the tires. As he accelerated gently, traction vanished. The car slid uncontrollably toward a decorative fountain centerpiece. Impact sent water and stone flying. The vehicle crushed him against the structure. Guests screamed as alarms sounded. Emergency responders arrived within minutes, but injuries were unsurvivable. The car's engine ticked quietly afterward. Indoor vehicle reveals were prohibited in luxury venues soon after. The arch remained standing, untouched. The fountain was drained permanently. Christmas brunches returned to champagne and speeches, not horsepower demonstrations. 24. A retired chemist in Massachusetts decided to enhance holiday candles by mixing essential oils directly into molten wax on the stove. Wanting stronger scent throw, he increased concentrations beyond recommendations. As the mixture heated, volatile vapors accumulated above the pot. When he leaned in to smell it, ignition occurred instantly. A fireball erupted upward. Neighbors heard the blast through closed windows. Emergency crews extinguished the kitchen fire quickly, but burns and inhalation injuries were fatal. Investigators later cited improper formulation. Candle-making clubs updated safety guides immediately. Homemade candles were abandoned by the family. Store-bought scents replaced experimentation. The remaining wax hardened in the pot, untouched, its scent lingering faintly for weeks. 25. A perfectionist stage designer in Nevada built a rotating Christmas tree platform to display ornaments evenly during a party. The motor was salvaged from old industrial equipment. During testing, he stepped onto the platform to feel the balance. The rotation speed increased unexpectedly. He lost footing and was flung outward into surrounding furniture. Guests rushed in as decorations shattered everywhere. The motor continued spinning unattended. Emergency services shut it down, but head trauma proved fatal. Investigators noted missing speed governors. Rotating displays were banned at future events. The tree stood still afterward, slightly crooked. Ornaments were replaced with unbreakable ones. Christmas displays became stationary again, favoring stability over spectacle. 26. A cold-resistant fisherman in Norway insisted on performing a traditional winter swim on Christmas morning to honor ancestral rituals. He cut a hole in the frozen lake before dawn. Without a safety rope, he plunged confidently into the dark water. Shock hit immediately. He surfaced briefly, gasping, then disappeared beneath the ice edge. Family members ran for help as panic spread. Rescue teams arrived quickly but struggled with visibility. Hypothermia and cardiac shock proved fatal. Authorities later reinforced safety protocols for winter swimming. Traditions adapted with lifelines and supervision. The ice hole refroze quietly by evening. The lake returned to stillness. The ritual continued in safer forms, minus the solitary plunge. 27. A documentary filmmaker in Australia attempted to capture a time lapse of Christmas sunrise using a heavy camera rig mounted on a cliff edge. He adjusted angles repeatedly, inching closer for precision. Loose gravel shifted underfoot unexpectedly. He slid forward, grabbing the tripod instinctively. The mount failed, pulling both over the edge. Colleagues nearby heard equipment crashing below. Rescue teams later recovered the camera intact. The footage ended mid-frame. Safety guidelines for outdoor shoots were updated afterward. Cliff filming required harnesses. The sunrise continued beautifully without documentation. The final still frame became a reminder that no shot is worth ignoring footing. 28. A luxury spa owner in Austria decided to host a Christmas sauna marathon challenge, encouraging guests to stay inside as long as possible for prizes. He demonstrated endurance proudly, refusing water breaks. Heat intensified gradually. Guests exited early, applauding his determination. Alone inside, he pushed further. Dehydration and overheating overwhelmed him silently. Staff found him collapsed after noticing extended silence. Emergency responders confirmed heatstroke complications. The sauna remained warm, unchanged. Wellness regulations tightened soon after. Competitive sauna events were discontinued. Hydration policies were emphasized strongly. The prize table remained untouched. Christmas wellness events shifted focus to moderation rather than endurance. 29. A detail-oriented architect in Spain attempted to correct a slight tilt in his rooftop Christmas star installation during high winds. Wearing formal shoes from dinner, he climbed out to adjust mounting bolts. A sudden gust caught the star like a sail. He lost balance instantly. The structure tore free, dragging him toward the edge. Neighbors heard metal scraping, followed by a thud below. Emergency services arrived quickly but confirmed fatal injuries. Building codes were reviewed regarding temporary installations. Rooftop decorations became professionally installed only. The star was later found intact. It was never rehung. The roof remained undecorated for years afterward. 30. A frugal electronics hobbyist in Poland decided to recharge disposable Christmas LED batteries using a homemade charging rig to save money. He connected mismatched power supplies directly. As charging progressed, one battery overheated rapidly. He leaned in to check voltage manually. The cell ruptured violently, releasing shrapnel and fire. Family members rushed in as smoke filled the room. Emergency services arrived swiftly, but injuries were fatal. Safety authorities later warned against recharging disposables. LED decorations were replaced entirely. Rechargeable systems were bought new. The homemade rig was dismantled completely. The battery's packaging remained nearby, clearly labeled "Do Not Recharge," finally read too late. 31. A tradition-loving historian in England insisted on reenacting a Victorian-era Christmas using original coal-burning heaters indoors. He sealed the windows tightly to keep the warmth in and wore period-accurate, heavy clothing. As the evening progressed, guests felt increasingly drowsy but blamed the rich food and wine. He proudly refused modern ventilation, calling it historically inaccurate. One by one, people stepped outside for air, leaving him inside alone by the fire. Hours later, he was found slumped in an armchair, peacefully unmoving. Carbon monoxide had filled the room silently. Authorities cited unsafe historical reenactment practices. Antique heaters were removed permanently. Victorian Christmas reenactments continued with electric replicas only. The coal scuttle remained decorative, never filled again. 32. A competitive homebrewer in Colorado decided to debut his strongest experimental holiday ale at Christmas dinner. The brew fermented far beyond expectations, creating extreme carbonation. Ignoring pressure warnings, he stored bottles near the fireplace to keep them warm. As dinner began, one bottle detonated violently. The chain reaction followed instantly. Glass shards launched across the room like shrapnel. He rushed forward to contain the mess and was struck directly in the neck. Guests fled in panic as bottles continued exploding. Emergency responders arrived to a scene resembling a battlefield of foam and glass. He succumbed to injuries shortly after. Brewing clubs issued safety alerts nationwide. The remaining bottles were buried outdoors. Holiday drinks returned to store-bought safety forever. 33. A minimalist architect in Sweden attempted to suspend a floating Christmas tree using thin steel cables for a gravity-defying design statement. The tree hung above the dining table, perfectly centered. During dinner, vibrations from movement weakened one anchor point. As dessert was served, the cable snapped sharply. The tree dropped straight down, pulling attached metal supports with it. He stood to admire it one last time and was struck instantly. Guests screamed as branches and ornaments scattered everywhere. Emergency crews confirmed fatal head trauma. Structural designers later cited improper load calculations. Suspended decorations were banned at events. Christmas trees returned to solid stands. The dining table was replaced, but the ceiling anchor holes remained visible reminders of style taken too far. 34. A survival show fan in Idaho decided to smoke meat in a sealed underground root cellar using a portable smoker for authentic pioneer flavor. He sealed the entrance to trap smoke around the meat. Inside, oxygen dropped rapidly. He continued adjusting vents until dizziness set in. Family members upstairs noticed the smell, but assumed it was intentional. Hours later, silence raised concern. The cellar door was forced open to find him unconscious beside perfectly smoked meat. Emergency crews confirmed oxygen deprivation. Root cellars were inspected countywide afterward. Smoking meat returned to outdoor use only. The cellar remained empty for years. The smoked meat was discarded untouched. Pioneer methods were appreciated from a distance, not replicated underground again. 35. A logistics consultant in Singapore built a custom Christmas gift conveyor belt to deliver presents dramatically across the room. The system used rollers, motors, and exposed gears salvaged from factory equipment. During testing, a wrapped gift jammed mid-belt. He leaned in to fix it while the motor was still running. Loose holiday clothing caught instantly. He was pulled into the machinery before anyone could react. Guests screamed as the belt continued moving briefly. Emergency responders shut down the system but could not save him. Safety inspectors later cited multiple violations. Conveyor displays were banned from private homes. Gift exchanges returned to hand delivery. The conveyor parts were dismantled and scrapped, their festive paint still visible beneath grease. 36. A storm chaser in Oklahoma became convinced Christmas Eve would bring a rare winter tornado. He climbed onto the roof with recording equipment to capture the moment. Winds intensified suddenly, far stronger than forecasted. Snow and ice reduced traction instantly. As he adjusted his camera, a gust lifted him off balance. He slid across the roof and vanished over the edge. Neighbors heard the crash below. Emergency services arrived quickly, but injuries proved fatal. The storm never produced a tornado. Meteorologists later issued advisories against amateur rooftop observation. His footage ended with a shaking horizon. Weather watching returned indoors. The camera tripod remained bent, still pointing skyward from the yard. 37. A performance artist in New York staged a Christmas installation involving a large block of clear ice suspended above a gallery floor, symbolizing melting traditions. He insisted on minimal supports for aesthetic purity. As the gallery warmed, melting accelerated unevenly. During a live talk, a support cable weakened and snapped. The massive ice block dropped instantly. He stood directly beneath it, addressing the audience. Impact was immediate. Guests scattered in shock as water flooded the floor. Emergency responders confirmed fatal injuries. Art safety boards issued new installation rules. Ice-based exhibits required redundant supports. The gallery closed temporarily. The melted water was cleaned, but the empty ceiling hooks remained as silent reminders of symbolism outweighing physics. 38. A luxury yacht owner in Monaco hosted a Christmas dinner cruise and insisted on decorating the deck with real pine branches soaked in decorative oils for shine. As the vessel cruised, engine heat and wind combined dangerously. One branch ignited near an exhaust vent. Fire spread rapidly across the deck. He attempted to fight the flames himself while guests evacuated below. Smoke and heat overwhelmed him quickly. Crew members extinguished the fire but found him unconscious. Emergency response at the marina confirmed fatal inhalation injuries. Maritime authorities tightened decoration regulations afterward. Synthetic decorations replaced natural ones. The yacht was repaired and renamed. Christmas cruises continued, noticeably less fragrant but far safer. 39. A robotics hobbyist in South Korea programmed a humanoid robot Santa to hand out gifts autonomously during a family gathering. The robot used heavy servo motors and force sensors. During calibration, a software error caused continuous motion. When he stepped in front to stop it manually, the robot failed to recognize resistance. It continued moving forward, pinning him against a wall. Family members struggled to power it down in panic. The machine stopped too late. Emergency responders confirmed fatal compression injuries. Robotics clubs issued urgent safety notices. Autonomous demonstrations were restricted to labs. The robot stood motionless afterward, still holding a gift box. Christmas gifting returned to human hands only. 40. A remote lodge owner in Finland decided to offer an authentic Arctic Christmas sleep experience by sealing guests into thermal sleeping pods outdoors. He tested one personally overnight to prove safety. As temperatures dropped unexpectedly, the pod's ventilation froze shut. Oxygen levels fell steadily. He slept through the danger. Staff found him unresponsive at sunrise beside untouched cocoa thermoses. Emergency crews confirmed suffocation. The pods were recalled immediately. Tourism boards updated safety standards. Arctic experiences were redesigned with monitoring systems. The pod remained frosted and intact. Guests later described it as peaceful from the outside. The lodge continued operating, but the experience description quietly removed the word sealed forever. 41. A competitive hobby pilot in Florida decided to launch a large remote-controlled Christmas-themed drone show from his backyard to impress neighbors. The drones were fitted with lights and small pyrotechnic sparks for visual flair. During synchronization testing, a software glitch caused several units to descend unpredictably. He ran beneath them, trying to regain manual control. One drone struck him in the head while another ignited nearby decorations. The remaining units spiraled wildly as alarms sounded. Neighbors rushed out watching sparks rain down. Emergency responders arrived to chaos and tangled wreckage. He didn't survive the impact injuries. Drone regulations tightened locally afterward. Holiday light displays returned to static setups. The drones were collected into evidence bags, still blinking softly in festive colors. 42. A traditional woodworker in Austria insisted on crafting hand-carved wooden toys using an antique foot-powered lathe restored for Christmas demonstrations. During a live carving session, the belt slipped loose. He leaned forward to adjust it without stopping the wheel. His scarf caught instantly. The rotating spindle pulled him forward before anyone could react. Onlookers screamed as the machine continued spinning briefly. Emergency crews shut it down, but severe trauma proved fatal. Safety inspectors later cited missing guards. Demonstrations with antique tools were restricted nationwide. The lathe remained displayed behind ropes afterward. The unfinished toy sat beside it, half-carved. Handmade gifts continued, but machines were modernized. The scarf was never worn again, folded carefully into a drawer. 43. A holiday-themed escape room designer in Canada built a Christmas puzzle requiring participants to crawl through a rotating snow globe chamber. To test realism, he entered alone during final checks. The rotation motor jammed mid-cycle. Inside, airflow dropped as internal seals tightened. He banged on the walls unheard beneath background music. Staff assumed the test was intentional. When the timer expired, the chamber failed to unlock. Emergency crews dismantled it hours later. Oxygen deprivation proved fatal. Escape room safety standards were revised immediately. Rotating chambers were redesigned with manual overrides. The snow globe sat motionless afterward, lights still twinkling. The puzzle description was removed quietly from promotional materials. Christmas-themed rooms shifted towards simpler, less immersive designs. 44. A performance chef in Brazil attempted a dramatic Christmas entree reveal by flambeing a massive dessert table simultaneously. He pre-soaked decorations in alcohol for ignition. When he lit the first tray, flames spread faster than anticipated. The fire raced across the tablecloths instantly. He tried smothering the blaze with his jacket. The alcohol-soaked fabric ignited immediately. Guests fled coughing as sprinklers activated. Emergency crews extinguished the fire quickly, but burns and smoke exposure were fatal. Culinary schools later cited the incident in safety training. Tableside flambe demonstrations were restricted. Holiday desserts returned to candles only. The restaurant reopened months later with fireproof decor. The flambe station was removed permanently, replaced by a simple dessert cart. 45. A robotics engineer in Japan built an automated Christmas present elevator system using counterweights and pulleys to deliver gifts from the ceiling. During calibration, he climbed the ladder to inspect tension alignment. A counterweight slipped free unexpectedly. The pulley system snapped violently. The cable recoiled downward, striking him before the weights crashed through the floor. Family members rushed in as gifts scattered everywhere. Emergency responders declared him gone on arrival. Engineering forums later analyzed the failure publicly. Home-built lifting systems were strongly discouraged. The ceiling hole remained patched but visible. Gift delivery became manual again. The elevator schematic was framed on the wall, labeled Final Design, never revised or rebuilt. 46. A holiday resort entertainer in Thailand decided to stage a synchronized Christmas fire dance using spinning metal hoops soaked in fuel. Wanting authenticity, he practiced barefoot on a wooden stage. As music played, one hoop slipped from his grip and rolled across the platform. Fuel splashed onto the boards, igniting instantly. Flames spread underfoot. He attempted to kick the hoop away and slipped. Fire climbed rapidly. Staff rushed in with extinguishers as guests screamed. He suffered severe burns before flames were controlled. Emergency crews confirmed he didn't survive. Fire dance performances were suspended nationwide temporarily. The stage was rebuilt with fire-resistant materials. Christmas shows returned with LED props only, glowing safely without heat. 47. A tech minimalist in Silicon Valley attempted to host a screen-free Christmas by shutting off household power entirely for 24 hours. To maintain refrigeration, he ran a backup generator indoors with doors closed to reduce noise. As the evening progressed, guests grew drowsy. He dismissed concerns, praising the calm atmosphere. Family members quietly stepped outside for air. Hours later, silence raised alarm. Emergency responders forced entry to find him unconscious near the generator. Carbon monoxide exposure proved fatal. Emergency advisories followed locally. Backup generators were emphasized as outdoor only. The house remained dark the rest of the holiday. The unplugged decorations stayed off exactly as intended, long after everyone left. 48. A thrill-seeking videographer in Chile attempted a Christmas cliff jump wearing a Santa suit for a dramatic holiday stunt video. The costume restricted movement and obscured his vision. As he ran toward the edge, fabric caught underfoot. He stumbled at full speed and fell uncontrolled. Friends filming heard the impact echo below. Rescue teams reached the site hours later. The camera footage cut mid-run. Authorities cited unsafe costume use during extreme sports. Stunt filming guidelines were updated. Holiday-themed stunts were discouraged publicly. The Santa suit was recovered intact, folded neatly by responders. The video was never uploaded. Christmas content shifted back to ground-level celebrations afterward. 49. A remote village handyman in Greenland decided to speed up Christmas tree harvesting by using a small chainsaw mounted to a snowmobile. As he accelerated, uneven terrain jolted the machine violently. The mounted saw loosened unexpectedly. He tried braking but lost control on ice. The snowmobile tipped, throwing him forward into the spinning blade. Nearby villagers heard the engine cut abruptly. Rescue efforts were delayed by weather. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Local authorities banned tool-modified vehicles immediately. Tree harvesting returned to manual methods. The snowmobile sat abandoned until spring. The forest stood quiet afterward, untouched, its trees left standing through the rest of the winter. There you have it, 49 Christmas moments so brain-melting they turned holiday cheer into instant Darwin Awards. If even one of these made you pause, cringe, or say, "How did no one stop this?" Smash that like button while common sense is still alive. Subscribe for more countdowns that prove thinking is optional. And drop the number that shocked you the most in the comments. And be honest, which one do you secretly think you've seen someone almost try in real life?